You like that word definitive, huh?
Definitive.
Definitive reminds me of at the post show. You were like, you're going to rematch Sean. You want a rematch for Sean because you want a definitive answer.
I want a definitive answer.
Why did you think it wasn't a definitive answer? Because I'll tell you my perspective real quick. Obviously, he hits you with the right, the step back. You go down. He's hit you a few more times. As soon as you turned your head over towards the ground, I was like, oh, he's done. Because if a ref would see that, wouldn't he think, I mean, because you're not guarding, right? Correct me if I'm wrong here. Right?
Yeah,
you know more of the sport than I do. So you're guarding, right? But as soon as you're like here, I mean, you're giving the person the back of your head.
Yeah.
That would, if I was a ref, I'm saying it's done.
Okay. But why?
Because you're not guarding yourself.
But can you
I don't
punch,
know, maybe you slept. Maybe you were like,
can you punch me in the back of the head?
I guess, yeah.
No.
So if I can't punch you in the back of the head,
the rules state you can't punch in the back of the head in like this mohawk area of the brain / neck. So in my thought process, what I'm doing, I spar with Marab, I spar with JP, I spar with O'Day. These guys take me down. If they take me down and I'm in a position like that, whether I'm getting rocked or if I just get taken down and they're throwing ground and pound, if I hit a backward roll, you would never turn into the opponent, because if you turn into the opponent, you're turning into the strike. I got dropped.
100%, yeah.
So you're not going to just get up right away as this guy's raining down shots as you're trying to get your bearings back. You're trying to stay in defense mode. Yeah, I think I might have eaten 3 shots. The rest of them were kind of like glancing as I'm moving on the ground, kicking my feet, blocking and trying to extend my hands and defend as best as I could while being in that rock state. But I'm still with it. There's never a point where I got hit where I was unconscious. So then for me, as I hit the backward roll, I'm thinking I get at least 4 seconds minimum for him to have to circle behind me, pick his shots, and allows me for an opportunity to get to my feet, cover up, and stand up. So when he stopped it at that point, I was kind of like, well, that's not correct. You just let this other girl, literally the fight before, not him, get murdered with unanswered shots. And they say, oh, you ate a bunch of unanswered shots. I'm like, were they really unanswered? I'm like, if I'm defending, is it unanswered because I'm not throwing something back? I'm trying to stay in the fight. It's a fight.
Yeah.
You got dropped. I can't go back and exchange with him. I'm on the ground. There's no exchanges when you're on the ground. He's standing above me, raining down bombs with gravity, with force. I got to try to evade as best as I can to stay in the fight.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'm intelligently defending myself based on what I understand for the fight game. So now, if I hit the backward roll, what else was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to turn into the punches? If I turn into the punches, that's even worse. Now I'm potentially going to get my momentum going into the punch, and I could possibly just get laid out cold. So it's like, if I'm not laid out cold and I do a backward roll, why not wait for him to land a couple more shots to see what happens before jumping into the fight? Because when he came up and he looked at me in the eyes, he saw that all my bearings were there. So he was just kind of like, yo, bro, you kind of fucked up, but I get why you did it. It's because he doesn't know any better. But at the same time, it's like, this is what everyone sees. You hear the arena.
He didn't know any better about the decision?
No, he didn't know any better about the best way to say it so people understand is that exact situation.
How to approach it.
I don't want to say how to approach it. How would you say that? Like he couldn't tell if I was like still with it or not. But what I'm saying is, if the other fight went that long and this girl took a lot of damage and she literally just lay there and just got hammered.
Talking about the Weili fight.
The Weili fight.
Yeah.
You see me in this fight and I'm kicking and I'm pushing and I'm kicking my feet and I'm bucking. Why do you stop the fight in that position versus stopping it when he actually lands a shot and then be like, okay, you got cracked. Maybe I should stop it here. Versus the kid did a backward roll. For that, you to jump in a position where you can't even tell if I'm out or not. I did a roll. Why you stop the fight right there when I do a roll?
I see.
You see what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
If I did a roll and I shelled up, all right, yeah, that fight's over. That guy wants out.
But I feel like on the ground you were like that. Like you rolled and...
No.
What did you see, Rob? What did you see?
We watched it multiple times.
I'm a fighter too, and like we both actually always tell referee before the fight when they come and explain the rules, because every state has different rules. They, and every referee has own rules. Like when I tell you this move, show me move or something like that. And I always tell them, please don't stop me early. If I go out, then stop me there. Don't drop me, don't say me. I'm a fighter, I want to fight, end of. So the same situation happened. Marlon Morales knocked me down, like he dropped me, and then it takes me time to came back. But I came back and I beat him. So so actually this fight, we was both there when he was explained, but somehow we wasn't thinking about to tell this Margada. But Margada, he does this when something happens, he always panic, he always
He's quick.
He's quick, bro. He's always touching guys to grab like this, like push like guys like this. He's like aggressive referee somehow. I don't know. So anyways, so what I see is sometimes we may get punched, but when we give back, that's where we roll. I want him touch me and me do something else, because Aljo is right. From here you eat punches, but when you roll, you cannot punch me here. But when you try wrestling me, or I grab you and I try leg lock you and grab you, like take two with me, like.
So were you completely like? Because you were explaining what you were doing. Now, obviously, looking back at it, but when you were in the moment, were you completely aware of what you were doing?
100%. I was like, there was no point where I was like, where am I? What just happened?
So you knew like that you were gonna roll that way. It didn't just instinctually happen, or like.
Well, instinctually, because this is what I do in training. Yeah. So it's just like, well, this is a bad situation. I need to get the fuck out of here. And I can hear him talking to me like, show me something. I'm like, all right. So I'm thinking my role is me showing you that I'm still in the fight. And
so the ref's telling you this, like, yo, you gotta.
Yeah. And I can hear everything. So this is what I'm saying. Like, I was still with this situation. Like, yeah, granted, I got cracked. I got rocked. Like, that's no mistake about it. Marlon Moraes dropped me, threw an uppercut, hit me with the overhand that hit me behind my ear. Equilibrium dropped. But I was still in the fight. And then, obviously, when I got up, he threw the kick and whatever, put me out. That was out cold. There's no need. Like, I can't defend myself. I'm out. This position. So now I'm going to compare this one to Sean O'Malley. O'Malley fights Cheeto Vera. The whole thing with his foot. He's in his guard. Cheeto hits him with a hammer fist and an elbow.
Right.
O'Malley goes limp. Literally, like, he's floating in the river, just trying to float. And comes back maybe twice. And then the last one, I think he's just like, he's out, but then he comes back again. That's completely different. That never once happened in this fight. So when I see those two scenarios or other scenarios, I think there was another one that just happened this past weekend in Singapore. And I'm just like, why couldn't Mark just do that for me? You know what I mean?
I see.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take away from Sean's win, but we don't know what would have happened after that. He could have hit me with 3 more shots, could have had me in turtle, could have punched me under my arm while I'm on turtle, even if I'm covered. Could have came under my armpit, punched me a couple times, put me out. Or I could have gotten to a single leg, and then that fight's completely different.
Yeah.
It's completely different. So it's just one of those things. So if there's anything that I was annoyed about with that fight was that, and of course annoyed with myself that I even put myself in that situation. Yeah. Because the one thing I knew he was good at
was that.
I was like, is the counter right hand or counter cross with the left? And it was just one of those things. I saw something, I miscalculated, and it is what it is, man. Like, he landed the money shot, and if I had stayed patient like I did in the first round, I won the first round. If I had stayed patient like that, the 5 rounds, it would have been a boring ass fight.
Yeah, I saw you talking about this.
Unless he came forward. And if he came forward, maybe he's the one that gets taken down because he gets over aggressive. I lock his skinny ass up, take him down, and then the fight's the fight. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. It's yin and yang. He's so good at what he does. I'm so good at what I do. And that's what happens when you get to the top of your game. It's a game of inches. And I said it, like, we fought 9 out of 10 times. He probably beats me 1 or 2 out of 10. And it just so happens August 19th.
You saying he beats you 1 or 2 out of 10?
Yeah, I give him that because I acknowledge that in fighting, sometimes you do something that you might think is there that's not there, and the other guy just capitalizes. And, of course, when you're talking about a guy who can snipe the way he snipes, it's a game-changing shot. Where for me, grappling is more of a grind. Yeah. It's more of I take you down, I get to a position of can I ground and pound, beat you up, or submit you. That's more of a grind. That's a long game. Where for this, it's like a Conor. It's like Francis Ngannou. They could land a shot that could change the whole trajectory of the fight. Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, land a great shot that changes the fight. Like, I study this, man. Like, this is Like I understand everything to the smallest detail, and I don't know what happened, but I fucked up.
How does it go different next time? What are you gonna do differently?
Just keep kicking him. Make the counter striker have to come to me. He's a counter striker. If you don't give him an opportunity to counter strike, look at the Pedro Munoz fight. Look at the Piotr Jan fight. The best strikes he landed was when Jan was over aggressive, or when his other opponents were over aggressive. When anybody stood in front of him, myself, Cheeto, they don't chase him. Now he has to open up and start the offense first. And when he starts the offense first, it gives you an opportunity to either exploit that as a grappler. I get more opportunities to kind of slip, weave, tie him up, and that changes the fight. Damn. It's just stylistic matchups. It's just the small nuances, man. If I give him what he wants, he looks like a superstar. If he gives me what I want, I look like the rock star. You know, so it's just one of those things where I don't want to say it's a coin flip. He knew if I take him down, that fight's as good as over.
Yeah, well, listen, on that note, I went and interviewed him like a week prior, maybe a week and a half, maybe prior. And he was talking about how he was dealing with an injury at the time, and we were knowing about it.
TJ Dillashaw.
I don't know what it was. No, straight up. But this was, bro, he said this off camera, straight up.
No, I know, but I'm just saying he sounds like TJ Dillashaw.
I'm just saying it was off camera, though. They were like, we cut it and everything.
No, but he said it at the press conference.
Bro, but he said it to me a week prior.
No, I know. I agree with. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying he still brought it up and said it on camera. Bro, which is just like, what's the point of even doing that?
I get it.
But go ahead.
So I was like, yo, I hope this motherfucker can't get his hands on you, essentially.
Yeah.
And we were even talking about, like, we were even joking about all he needed was that one hit. Like, literally what he did, he talked about, that's what I need, and that's exactly what you gave him.
Yeah.
Because you did that overextension shit. Like, and it was so, like, you can see your face, you know it's coming, you're like, oh,
you see me as I step, and I close my eyes, I go, you fucked up. You idiot.
Isn't it? Because like, obviously you're a professional, man, but like in that moment, and you're like this, and you're fit, and it's like you can't move fast enough. Like, are you just thinking like, I'm fucked? So
literally in that moment, I just go brace for impact, and that's why I said, like, I was still with it because I knew the shot was coming. The Marlon Moraes fight, I shot right into it, and I knew it was coming, but I shot so fast and so hard. I was like, dude, the opportunity or the chances of me surviving this car crash collision is so slim to none.